Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Daughter of Redwinter by Ed McDonald. Daughter of Redwinter is an adventure fantasy novel that's been on my TBR for a while here. Back in 2022, when the book first came out, I had a stack of books for a fun little theme that we were doing, Undead Girl Autumn, talking about The Locked Tomb, Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth, and vampire novels like Alexis Henderson's House of Hunger, or necromantic attorneys in the craft sequence like Max Gladstone's Dead Country. And, there are only so many books that we can cover in a season. And so Daughter of Redwinter sat on my shelf for a while longer, as did C.S.E. Cooney's St. Death's Daughter, which we'll be talking about later this spring. I have made a decision, and finally, the time came around. And it came around fortuitously, because the series is now complete, and Tor Books was gracious enough to offer me the concluding 2 volumes in the series, Traitor of Redwinter and Witch Queen of Redwinter. And that's a darn good thing, because I finished Daughter of Redwinter in preparation for this episode, and even though it was about 11 o'clock at night, I immediately opened Traitor of Redwinter and started reading that. I don't remember the last time that I have gotten to, marathon a series. It's not something that we really get to do here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, just the nature of how my reading has been the past couple of years. And so, what a tremendous joy to have everything set up in such a way that I could go right from reading book 1 into reading book 2. I am about 2/3 of the way through book 2 now, and I'm going to immediately start reading book 3 after that. I'm having a lot of fun, and one of those gifts to, be having a book that's waiting for you and waiting for you for just the right moment, and then to be able to immerse yourself in that world. A reminder of why we should do the best that we can to, even if we're the sorts of readers who like to read a full series all in a swoop, to have it all be available when we want to start reading it, to get those first books, to get those early books when we can, and have them ready and have them waiting for us, as I did with Daughter of Redwinter. And so it was time. It's winter, it's chilly, and it felt right, and I'm having the most fun. Daughter of Redwinter, as I said, is an adventure fantasy novel. We have a little friend here who's coming to help. You never know what's going to happen here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. Daughter of Redwinter is an adventure fantasy novel, sort of in this sword and sorcery tradition of anti-heroes, of strange magic, of exciting powers, and is the story of Rain, a young woman who finds herself drawn into the wider world. She is living as part of a traveling band of sort of soothsayers in the north of this sort of Scotland-inspired fantasy country, and then all of a sudden finds herself drawn into a world of sorcerers and necromantic monsters and the grave site. She's a young woman who can see the dead, and draws herself down south and has to find her place now in a world of control and power. It's got a fun little mystery at the heart of it, very cool magic, fun characters. Rain is exploring her nascent bisexuality over the course of the book and the series as well, and just really clashing swords and strange magic and grand masters of this magical order who have iron bars on their heads because their skulls have been cracked in, but they lived. They got the power. It's just like grand, visually arresting sort of adventure fantasy, and a lot of fun. And so, of course, we had to have a drink. Our drink today is the Draoihn, named for the magical order that Rain finds herself drawn into. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's one of those things, you read a word and you do the best you can. But we're going to pronounce it Draoihn for the sake of our episode and of our drink. And we're going to start with 2 ounces of Scotch whiskey. I am using the Bowmore 12-year here because while we have this Highland woman, I have a fondness for Islay Scotches, and the Bowmore 12-year works really well for cocktails because it's going to play a little better with others. It's not quite as smoky, not quite as creosote as like the Ardbeg that we've used here on Bar Cart Bookshelf in the past. It's going to play a little better with some of our ingredients without being that real punch of a smoky, peaty, creosote quality. Really nice Scotch for drinking on its own, but also really nice for blending with because, as I said, it plays well with others. Next, we're going to get 1/2 ounce of apricot liqueur, and I will confess that this is a little bit of drawing from book 2 here, but that's okay. 1/2 ounce of apricot liqueur, this really nice, dry, fruity, dried fruit sort of liqueur, bringing a bit of sweetness, but still bringing that sort of fruity punch. And then 1/2 ounce of honey syrup. See a lot of honey in the novel, in the series, and it's just a really lovely pair with the assertiveness of the Scotch whiskey there. And then we will get a couple of dashes of Peychaud bitters. Peychaud bitters, sort of rosehip, licorice, anise root, that sort of quality to it. It's an aromatic bitters like Angostura, but a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, and it's this beautiful red color as well. We've got the Daughter of Redwinter here. We got to do something like that. We also have a very cool sort of fantasy stimulant like coffee or like meth or just like a little fantasy stimulant called rose thistle in the series. And so having that rose hip in there is really lovely. And you want to get a few dashes down into there. As always with bitters, easy to add more, hard to add less. If once you've got your cocktail prepared, you would like to have a little bit more of that Peychaud bitters, then certainly add another couple dashes to your glass. We've got all of our liquid ingredients down here in the mixing glass. My ice will go. Ice all coming together. It's quite cold there in Heronir. Lovely. Get our ice into our mixing glass and stir. Thus we have all alcoholic or sweetener ingredients in here. No citrus, no dairy. We aren't going to shake this. We're going to give it a nice stir. Nice, supple flavor, really sort of gentle blending, not introducing a lot of air to the drink. We do have a bit of airy quality in the mysterious figure of the Queen of Feathers, this sort of ghostly spiritual entity who is mentoring, appearing to Rain with intentions that are maybe not the most noble. Certainly she's playing her own games, as we continue to see throughout the series. Lovely. Get our julep strainer and strain into a large coupe here. Beautiful. And as you can see, we still have plenty of space in our coupe glass. It's because in addition to drinking a lot of whiskey in the book, we're also drinking a lot of cider. We're going to bring that sort of airy Queen of Feathers quality to our Draoihn with a topping of sparkling cider. I'm using a non-alcoholic cider here. I know that in other parts of the world, non-alcoholic cider is harder to come by. Just, you want a cider that's got that bit of effervescence to it, and you're going to top that off like so. Bringing that bit of bubbliness, that bit of refreshing apple bite to your cocktail. And there you have it. This is the Draoihn inspired by Daughter of Redwinter and the Redwinter Chronicles more broadly. It's entirely possible that we'll be talking about the series again next week because I'm having a really great time with it. Daughter of Redwinter is available now. I've got a link to snag it in the description down below, as well as links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe, and a link to purchase my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails Inspired by the Wonderful World of Video Games. Gonna have some fun events coming for that at the end of February, so keep your peepers peeled for in-person events in several parts of the United States. Please hit that like button. It makes me so happy when you do, and it really helps us to understand what sorts of authors, what sorts of things you, the audience, are really enjoying. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some really great books coming at you as we round through February, head into the spring. It's on the way. We've had false spring here, and now cold again, so we can enjoy the cold and we can look to spring, and we're all going to have a really great time here on Barcart Bookshelf. Like, comment below if you've read the book, if you're excited about the book, try the drink, let me know what you think, and until next time, cheers.